In today's video, we'll be taking a look at some brand new PlayStation 4 game trailers, a couple coming out of Tokyo Game Show 2018, and we also have a lot of new gameplay of Just Cause 4. So I want to quickly take a look at all of that, and on top of that, we've been talking a lot about Marvel Spider-Man sales numbers, and we finally have an official number, at least for the first 3 days, and yes, it did surpass God of War, but not by much. It was actually a lot closer than I had predicted. On top of that, we've got some unfortunate news about the PlayStation Vita. Production for that handheld will be ending in 2019 in Japan. And if you're hoping for a PlayStation Vita 2, Sony says that there's no plans for a successor. On top of that, Ace Combat 7 has got a great PlayStation 4 pre-order bonus, and we'll be taking a look at that, and I want to round out the video by taking a look at some awesome PlayStation 4 game deals. 3 of them on the physical side, and then we do also have one great digital deal, but you do have to be a Plus subscriber to take advantage of that. More on that at the end of this video. First of all, I think most exciting to the PlayStation community is that Days Gone has had a brand new live show. The entirety of the live show spans over 35 minutes, and you'll see a lot of gameplay, and given what we saw of this game earlier, it looks to be a lot more polished. This game is shaping up very, very nicely. Originally, I was a little bit skeptical about yet another zombie action-adventure game. We've been seeing a lot of zombie games, but I think Sony Bend Studios is doing a great job with this title, and if you don't know what Sony Bend is known for, they've worked on some more lower-key titles, namely on the PlayStation Portable. They put out a game called Resistance Retribution. That was a spin-off to the Resistance franchise, and honestly, it was one of the best Resistance games that was ever released, but they really weren't known for these big-budget AAA games, so I was worried with Days Gone it might be a situation like what we had with the Order 1886 and what Ready at Dawn did with that game. Ready at Dawn had put out some great God of War portable titles, but then when they moved on and worked on Order 1886, of course, that game didn't turn out all too great. But with Days Gone, it is shaping up very, very nicely, and we do know that from a content side of things, it will be very plentiful, and I think this could be one of these surprising PlayStation 4 exclusives. I know all of you guys are focused on titles such as The Last of Us Part 2, maybe Death Stranding, maybe even Ghost of Tsushima, but Days Gone is one that's going a little bit under the radar, and I think come February 22nd, this is a title that might surprise a lot of people. Unfortunately, it is being released on one of the most packed days of game releases ever. If none of those games that is being released on February 22nd get delayed, you have Metro Exodus, Days Gone, as well as Anthem being released all on the same day. As far as big budget game releases on one day, that is one of the biggest release days that I can recall ever, but I do foresee 1 or 2 of those games being delayed, so we shall see. Currently, Days Gone is scheduled for February 22nd. Make sure you check out that gameplay. Again, it is looking super polished now.
ちょっと小柄で結構あっちでも通常はそれほど危なくないんですが、ディーコンの体力がすごい低い時など、彼らのテリトリー、屋根の上とかに登ると、攻撃してきます。
弱ってても攻撃してくれるんですよね。
そうですね。弱ってると
通常は優しいんだけどっていう。優しくはないですね。
So he's climbing up onto this tractor trailer so that he can use his binoculars and look at the environment, see where the enemies are, see where he needs to go, and kind of get a lay of the land.
Also at the Tokyo Game Show, we got a brand new trailer for Devil May Cry 5. We also got an introduction to the 3rd character in V, and we got the confirmation about a Mega Man 11 and Devil May Cry 5 crossover. We got a trailer for that as well, and it's pretty cool. You see Nero utilizing the Mega Man Buster, so that's kind of a cool crossover. Why not cross over great Capcom IPs? I think that is definitely a good idea. And Devil May Cry 5, another game that's looking very good. I don't know how to feel about the game having 3 separate playable main characters. I'm okay with Nero and Dante, of course, because I'm familiar with them, but this new guy I'm gonna need a little bit more selling on, but from a gameplay standpoint, it is shaping up very, very nicely, just like Days Gone. And lastly, this was outside of Tokyo Game Show, but we did get 20 minutes of new Just Cause 4 gameplay. That game is looking pretty good as well. Now, I imagine the gameplay that we're seeing is running on a high-end PC, and my main concern with this game is from a technical side of things. I'm sure it's gonna be a very fun game. Just Cause 3, from its fundamentals, was a good game, but unfortunately, the technical problems just ruined that game, and it was borderline unplayable. Of course, it is a little bit better now, and I would say it's somewhat playable, but I expect a lot better out of Just Cause 4. This 20-minute gameplay presentation happened all the way back at Gamescom 2018, so it is a little bit older, but given the fact that the game will be released on December 4th, it is nearing to be a finished product, so what we're seeing is probably what we're gonna get. Really, I'm just concerned about the optimization for this game on consoles. Now that they're building this game with the PlayStation 4 Pro in mind, hopefully it turns out a lot better. But also, if you do have a base PS4, the concern is going to be there on how this game is going to run. I'll be following that very closely, but the 20 minutes of gameplay does look quite good.
The biomes itself, because again, they are big. If they were all looking samey, you will be bored pretty soon, and I don't want that. We just want to give you surprise after surprise. There's the sensor. I did promise before that we would have pass nearby. I hope we don't end inside it, because one of the features of the sandstorm itself is that it drastically reduces your visibility. That has quite interesting
Moving on from that, Marvel's Spider-Man, we've been talking a lot about this game's sales numbers. We know that it's been doing killer numbers over in the UK and Japan, but now we've got an official number, 3.3 million copies in its opening 3 days. That is a very good number. Comparatively speaking, God of War sold 3.1 million copies in its first 3 days. So it's not like Marvel's Spider-Man is absolutely killing God of War in sales numbers, but I do foresee this game being an absolute hot holiday item. I don't really see God of War being that, because obviously Spider-Man is an IP that parents are gonna buy for their kids. God of War, maybe some parents will buy it for their kids, but I see Spider-Man being a game that resonates with a lot of kids and a lot of holiday lists as well. So I can totally see this game climbing higher and higher in terms of sales numbers. 3.3 million is super successful, and given the fact that Spider-Man wasn't really known for these groundbreaking sales numbers, and this is a record-breaking number, I'm sure Sony is very, very happy with that. I'm sure Insomniac is too, and that should tell us good things about a possible sequel to Marvel Spider-Man, which if you completed the game, it looks like chances are we will be getting a sequel. Okay, so those are some good sales news. How about some bad sales news that's tied to the PlayStation Vita? We've known for the longest time that the PlayStation Vita was not a commercial blockbuster. I thought it had a lot of potential. 2 analog sticks were great. The $249.99 price point, while now that does sound expensive, contextually remember that the 3DS was also priced at $249.99, so the Vita being the same price was absolutely awesome. Unfortunately, before the Vita was even released, the 3DS had its price tag slashed to $179.99, and then with the Vita, you also had to buy the ridiculously expensive memory cards, and really you were paying like $300 to get a Vita, where with a 3DS you were paying $180, and at the time it just had the better lineup of games. When you had games like Ocarina of Time coming out, the Vita did have a great library. At launch, I think Vita had one of the best launch lineups ever. You got Uncharted Golden Abyss, I believe Wipeout was a part of launch, Mod Nation Racers was a part of launch. There were legit good games as a part of the PlayStation Vita's launch. Unfortunately, it didn't really resonate with the mainstream audience, and now it has gone to the wayside, and in 2019, production of the platform will be ending in Japan, and over in Japan is where the Vita had the most success, but now it's time for the Vita to go to the wayside over there as well. And here's what Sony Interactive Entertainment Senior Vice President Hiroyuki Oda told Famitsu: "Currently, we do not have any plans regarding a new handheld device. In Japan, we will manufacture PlayStation Vita until 2019. From there, shipping will end." So yeah, there you go. It looks like the end is near for the Vita, and I know a lot of you guys aren't all too interested about Vita news, but I wanted to cover it because I did get a Vita at launch, and I thoroughly enjoyed the platform. I thought it was a significant improvement over the PlayStation Portable, but I can definitely understand its pitfalls. Again, the pricing and then the memory cards, there were issues with it, but with games like Killzone Mercenary, Uncharted Golden Abyss, Gravity Rush, there were some legitimately great games on the Vita. How could I forget Freedom Wars? That was a great game too, and I would love to see some of those games get ported over to the PlayStation 4. I think they could find another fan base. Moving on from that, Ace Combat 7 will be released in early 2019, specifically on January 18th, and if you pre-order the game on the PlayStation 4, you will be getting a free copy of Ace Combat 5: The Unsung War. It isn't a remaster, but it is a port with improved resolution. I think this is a great gesture by Bandai Namco, and it actually incentivizes you to pre-order Ace Combat 7. A lot of times, these pre-order bonuses really don't incentivize you to actually pre-order a game. With this, you get a copy of one of the best received Ace Combat titles, and while it isn't a complete remaster, hey, it's still a port with improved resolution. I imagine this would be one of those PS2 on PS4 games, and I imagine this will be one of those PS2 on PS4 games, and it will have trophy support as well. So again, a very nice gesture by Bandai Namco, and if you were planning on picking up Ace Combat 7 anyway, well, now you actually have reason to pre-order the title. And lastly, I do want to take a look at some fantastic PlayStation 4 game deals available right now. Some really under-the-radar deals available. I'll start off with the best one. Over at GameFly, you can pick up a used copy of Monster Hunter World for just $17.99. Wow, that is the best deal I have seen without a doubt for Monster Hunter World, a game that is absolutely worth that price, and given how much gameplay you're getting for your $17.99, that is an absolute bargain. Typically, the lowest I've seen this game on sale for was around $30. I believe it was $24.99 before as a part of a GameFly used game sale, but now for just $17.99, this is the best deal you're gonna find on Monster Hunter World. I don't even see a Black Friday deal being able to top this, so I would definitely recommend that. It is a used copy, but I've never had issues with used copies at GameFly. It's just people that have rented the game and now they're getting rid of it. So yeah, definitely a great deal on that, and let's blitz through the last few deals. Dragon Ball FighterZ is available for $29.99. That's $20 off, so a pretty good deal on that. I imagine that Bandai Namco will eventually put out a complete edition for this game that includes the base game as well as all of the extra content. So if you're not all too eager to pick it up right now, maybe wait for that. However, $30 is definitely a good price for it. If you have your GCU subscription, still $24 makes it a ton better too. Borderlands The Handsome Collection is down to $14.99. Can't go wrong with this. I've talked a lot about Borderlands The Handsome Collection. It's Borderlands 2, Borderlands the pre-sequel, a ton of DLC, $15, a lot of content for your money. And lastly, over on the PlayStation Store, they've got kind of a hidden deal available right now. Nier Automata is 50% off for PlayStation Plus subscribers, down to $30. That is a great deal for Nier Automata, a game that has really held up in value. At this point, it was released over 18 months ago, and you would expect this game to be down to, you know, $19.99, $14.99 on sale, but no, its retail price is still $59.99. Right now, you do get a 50% off discount, getting it for $29.99. It is absolutely worth that, and there's a reason why this game has held up in value, because people are still paying a premium price for it, and it's worth that premium price. So check that out. Again, you do have to be a Plus subscriber to take advantage of that. So that's gonna conclude this video. Again, a ton of new PlayStation 4 game footage came out today. Days Gone, Devil May Cry 5, Just Cause 4. Marvel Spider-Man has sold 3.3 million copies, a little ahead of God of War, but definitely a close race. PlayStation Vita production will end in 2019 in Japan. Ace Combat 7 pre-order bonus will grant you a copy of Ace Combat 5, and remember all those great PS4 game deals. Monster Hunter World just $17.99, Dragon Ball FighterZ for $29.99, Borderlands The Handsome Collection for $14.99, and Nier Automata on the PlayStation Store for just $29.99. Great deals all around. That's gonna conclude this one. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.